Hello, everyone. It's Thomas Rooz, Bazar again, and the author. I shared my essay. Let me pull it up here so I have reference to it. Writing my Persian identity in another video. I read the few paragraphs, and it really describes the heart of what I attempt as a writer. Here, let me share that with you. This is basically, in a nutshell, my writing and my aesthetic and what I hope to do with building a body of literary work. My life has been that of an outsider. It is not by choice, but a reality shaped by true cultural separation. My writing is finding its way between the pull of the West and the expectations defined by my own upbringing. My work is dark, erotic, neurotic, and ultimately searches for some spiritual home. It is a strange, surreal type of no man's land, a place that is comfortable between dream and reality. That's the best way I can describe it and my own place in this world. Yeah, that was, it really hit home when I saw it in print, when this essay is very, very true. I wrote, I'm currently finished a novel called Chupa, but it's completely different than the one previous, which is The Any Dead, which I reference in this essay. And The Any Dead is a fictional account of Iran's greatest, or one of Iran's greatest 20th century writers. His name is Sadegh Hedayat. He wrote a very famous story called The Blind Owl, modernist story. He is considered one of the top writers in Iran. People know of him. Others know of him, not outside of Iran, of course. And he was a very troubled soul, very much caught in between that no man's land of dream and reality. So I thought, doing research on him, and especially his time as a young man in his 20s in Paris, 1920s Paris. And this was a Paris of, great cultural explosion, all different types of dance and theater and writing, and James Joyce and Ernest Hemingway and Ezra Pound. The list goes on and on. Eliot, you name it, all the expats, that whole world of 1920s Paris. And Sadegh Hedayat finds himself. So that was my fictional account of that time. But I captured it in a way where that's not his reality of Paris. He kind of came on the tail end of that, and he's trying to find his way in his own spiritual way, in his own artistic way, very much like I did. And exploring his life, exploring his interest in ancient Persian history, mythology. I had to read it, and this was a lot of information I didn't know, and it really opened my eyes to a culture that I've been separated from. I was born in Iran. I moved to the United States when I was 5 years old. I went back when I was like 8 years old, and that was the last I've seen of my extended family. Meaning I like 90% of my family, 95% of my family is in Iran. I've lost. We're in contact via social media, but not like it is when you're there. You see them regularly, face to face. And so a large part of my upbringing, my cultural ancestry, my customs, language, all of that is kind of been shelved as a result of my inability, and also kind of fear because of my dual citizenship, Persian, citizen, American citizen. How the Iranian government is very wary of any of that. But then I also want to say the Iranian government has no place in what a lot of people might misconceive, or perception versus reality. Iran is a very beautiful country. The people are very warm, very inviting, very simple, and it has nothing to do with the Iranian government. And so there is again, that perception of reality is, maybe the perception is, oh, Iran is such a evil and nasty and disgusting, place. Be careful for these, crazy lunatics. That's not the reality. That's the perception. The reality is Iran is a very beautiful, highly cultural, one of the great civilizations. If you go back in history, you read about it. One of the great powers, one of the, in terms of this, of not just might, military might, but in terms of culture, astronomy, math, trade, you name it. And so a lot of that kind of found its way into my novel, The Any Dead. And The Any Dead was a wonderfully cathartic experience for me as a writer. It was my third book, and digging into Hedayat's life allowed me the opportunity to kind of dig into my own past in some ways, my own ancestry, my country of birth, the mythologies and histories and ancient history and even like modern history that of the 20th century and World War II and the British influence and the Anglo influence, all of that, which Hedayat had a disdain for, and I captured in the book as well. So yeah, it's still trying to find a home. The book, I after I wrote it and my editor worked on it, we got it to a place where we felt really good about. But still, here's a book that I think it really is a profound exploration on that very thing about being pulled between, here's Hedayat in kind of Western society of Paris and Western art and literature and all this, and here's a man who is trying to get into that, but is still pulled very much into his past, into Iran, into that history and ancestry and that cultural and the true cultural divide. No matter if we try to be aware of it or not, it exists, and it very much exists in my life as well. So I hope one day there will be a breakthrough of some kind, a literary agent, publisher, small publisher. If I decide to publish it somehow, some way on my own, I would really love to share it with the world, because I really do think there's something there in this book that is very universal, very human. All right, thank you for listening. Peace.